Hi Libra, Trishna here. Welcome to your February 2020 love reading. So what I'm feeling for you, Libra, from an intuitive perspective is I feel like you're really happy in love. I feel like you're really happy with your partner. I feel like you're really happy with your relationship and partnership. And dare I say, you might even be feeling really giddy about your partner and about love and about your relationship. So Libra, you are doing really well. You're really happy with where you are. You're really happy with the relationship that you have. You really like where it's going. You feel really safe, really secure, really warm, and your relationship warms your heart, and it's amazing and it's awesome. And you also, I feel, are spending a lot of time with your career. I feel like your relationship gives you a lot of room for you to focus on your career, for you to prioritize your career, for you to do well in your career, and to have your career be a really big part of your life. Like, your relationship is not taking away from your career, it's giving you plenty of space for that. And if anything, in some ways it's actually enhancing your career because your relationship is making you really happy, and that is allowing you to perform even better in your career than maybe normal. Now, you have a lot of space for your career, but I feel like you almost are feeling like you have too much space for your career. Like, maybe you would actually like to spend more time with your partner than you're currently spending. And I think that's really nice, Libra. I think it's really cute, really sweet. And I think that if that's what you're feeling, you should let your partner know, because I think your partner would be really happy to hear that. Actually, I would say they would probably be really ecstatic to hear that. So even if that's not something that has crossed their mind, or if that's something that they've thought they could have with you, or if that's something that they've even thought about suggesting to you, they'd be really, really happy to hear that from you, and they would be very happy to oblige because they love you just as much as you love them, maybe even more. So they're also very happy in this relationship, Libra. So things are absolutely wonderful, and I feel like things are going to continue to get wonderful. I feel like that you and your partner are starting to get closer to each other, and you're only going to continue to get closer to each other. I feel like you two are a wonderful match, a perfect match. I feel like you're like two peas in a pod, and you kind of fit together in ways that maybe you didn't expect to fit together with anybody. Like there's some connections there that the two of you have that you never thought people could connect in those ways, or you never thought that you would connect with anybody in those ways. Like, it's different. It's really different. It's really high level, evolved, wonderful, like an absolutely beautiful relationship, Libra. I'm so happy things are going well for you. I'm so glad that you are investing in this partner and that you're going to continue to do so. That's what I see. And yeah, I feel like your relationship is wonderful. So if you're one of the Libras who has resonated with the past few messages, it sounds like you and your partner have gotten on the same page, and you two are really enhancing each other's lives and really working on the relationship together and working on being better partners for each other. So that's what's making your relationship so magical. So, all right, Libra, that's basically all that I'm feeling for you from an intuitive perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards, and we're going to do a tarot reading for the second half of this video. All right, Libra, so in this video, we're going to talk about the top 6 cards over here, and then in the extended, I'm going to cover the bottom 6 cards. I'm also going to pull additional cards, and we will look at the bottom of the deck. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Page of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Shadow side, which is the Devil card in the traditional tarot, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. So Libra, I feel like there are some lessons here that are important for you to hear for both you and your partner, so that you two can really continue to have a positive relationship and stay together as a couple, because your relationship is actually really, really good. You're really good fits for each other, and things are really amazing right now, and they can continue to be equally as amazing, even more amazing, like for most of your relationship over the many, many years and decades that you can be together. But it's really important that you work on some foundational issues that I see here in this spread right now. So let's go through the cards. So the first card is the Page of Wands, and I feel like this, Libra, represents a little bit of your energy. In the past, you've had to be a little bit cautious with your heart, a little bit more on guard, and I feel like even though you're very happy in your relationship at present, every once in a while you do kind of revert back to old patterns of feeling like you need to protect yourself and wondering if your partner, is as in it as you are and loves you as much as you love them, etc. And the answer to that question is yes, they love you very much, just as much as you love them, maybe even more. But, it's natural that whenever we're moving into new patterns, that it is a journey, and shedding old patterns, letting go of old baggage, kind of overcoming old mentalities does take a little bit of time, and every once in a while we go a little backwards to be able to progress forwards even further. Libra, I feel like you're not really going that backwards, but it is coming up in the cards, so just something for you to be aware of. With that said, I feel like you are the Queen of Wands. I feel like you're actually really happy with your relationship. I feel like you kind of hit jackpot. Or like you feel like you hit jackpot, or like you won in the relationship realm, that you really got something special, something really good, and you're pretty pleased with that. Again, sometimes there are fears that you're going to lose this, that maybe it's too good to be true, that maybe you don't actually deserve to have this wonderful relationship, that maybe what you see isn't what's actually true, and maybe there's underlying issues or like underlying problems that this person has that you're not aware of, that like it's too good to be true or something like that, or like things aren't quite as they're cracked up to be. But for the most part, I feel like you're pretty pleased. You're feeling pretty good about the relationship and your partner, pretty confident about them and who they are, and that you really know who they are and you've seen most of them, you know, and that there isn't anything hidden that you haven't discovered just yet. With the shadow side, or essentially the devil card, I do feel like there are some temptations in your relationship or some kinds of fears that both you and your partner have individually that are very similar, or that the two of you actually share. So, for example, maybe both of you wonder, like, have temptations to be with other people. And so individually, you both experience these temptations, but it's the same temptation as well. So you share your individual temptations. So that's just an example. And I feel like the two of you, whatever these fears are, whatever these issues are, whatever these temptations are, I feel like the two of you have talked about this. And that's good. That's really positive. I love that the two of you are being really open with each other, really honest with each other. That builds some really strong foundations of trust. But I feel like all you've been doing is talking about it. You haven't really gotten deep down into it. You haven't really tried to work on it. You haven't really, like both of you, haven't really taken anything beyond a conversation. And I feel like that is leading to the Seven of Cups. So I feel like with the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of different options out there available to you, Libra, or maybe you as well as your partner separately. So if this is something like you have a lot of options, so you have career going really well, and family going really well, and friends going really well, and finances going really well, that's okay, that's fine. It's really good that a lot of your areas are going really positively, as long as you continue to prioritize your relationship and to make sure that you know that relationship is probably one of the biggest priorities in your life right now, your partner is, and you balance that amongst everything else that's going on. That's fine, not a big deal. If that's with your partner, same thing, same advice for them. Now, however, if you have a lot of options or a lot of opportunities with regards to the romantic realm, where maybe there's temptations out there, there's other people that you sometimes wonder, should I be with them instead? Or if your partner feels that way, that's something that the two of you really need to talk about and address. Now, I've said that you've talked about it, but I feel like maybe you've only talked about it on a very superficial surface level. You've talked about the fact maybe that the two of you have temptations, and that's a shared fear, that's a shared temptation that the two of you have. But I don't think that you've really discussed why you have that temptation. So Libra, you have some fears that things aren't going to work out. And I think that the temptation that you may have, if your temptation has to do with other people, I feel like the reason why you sometimes wonder about being with other people isn't because you want to leave your partner. It isn't because your partner isn't good enough. It isn't because someone's better than your partner. It's because you're not sure where things are going to go with your partner. You don't know what they have in mind for you. You don't know if you're in their future. You don't know if they see you in their future, if they want you in their future, if they imagine you in their future, if when they make their plans are considering you as part of their future. You don't know where this is going to go. You don't know. You and your partner have not talked about what you actually want out of this relationship and where you actually want this relationship to go. You haven't talked about whether you want to stay together long term, or whether you're both just short-term dating with each other. And I feel like it's really important that the two of you have this conversation, because I think that the two of you want the exact same thing. I think that you love each other very much, that you want to be together with each other for the very, very long term. That's what you want, but neither one of you has talked about this with the other, and so neither one of you knows that that's even an option on the table. So when there's other people around you, you're like, well, I don't know if this is going to work out. Maybe I should consider these other people. Maybe I should fantasize about them, but it's all because the two of you haven't had this deeper conversation. So I think it's really important, Libra, that the two of you have this conversation if this is resonating with you. I ran out of space. So anyways, now moving on to the Three of Pentacles, I feel like this is telling you, Libra, that it's really important that you and your partner, I think you and your partner is ideal, but if not, then, just you, that you really work on your relationship, that you really try to build a good foundation for your relationship. And what I mean by that is, maybe start reading up on books on how to build a really good foundation for your relationship, how to work through conflicts, how to have really good conversations with the other person so that there isn't anything that's left out of the conversation that needed to be said, that the two of you feel like you can trust each other that you can trust yourself with the other person, like that whatever you share with them will be respected and will be heard and not ridiculed or like put down or anything like that. That the two of you, I think I already mentioned, know how to handle conflicts. The two of you can have really good conversations because you've been talking, but you haven't really been talking about the real issue. And so I feel like maybe the two of you could work together by reading a book or something like that, or doing some sort of relationship course on how you two can have more effective conversations and be better communicators with each other, so that you aren't skipping over what's important, and so that there aren't any misunderstandings down the line, or so that you don't end up making decisions and choices that actually go against what you want and sabotage the relationship that you both actually want. So I think that would be a really good use of your time, Libra. You, and especially if you can bring your partner in on this, is to really study up on relationships, really learn, really put in the effort for that. And don't just study, be the Eight of Pentacles, where you're actually working on it, where you're actually taking that advice and you're putting it to use, you're putting it to practice, you're trying things, you're taking baby steps towards making your relationship better and more solid and stronger and becoming more connected. Because I think if you do this, Libra, like I was saying before, your relationship is amazing right now. And your relationship has the potential to be this amazing or more for the majority of the many years that you two spend together, the many decades that the two of you spend together. Like, your relationship can be one of those relationships that's actually really healthy and going really positively, and the two of you are so well connected that you rarely really have any kind of conflicts. Like like your happiness and connection is like so solid that 90% of the time you two are just like one, you're on the same page, and only 10% of the time do you really have any kinds of conflicts. Like that is a really amazing relationship. That's like an A grade relationship, and that's something that you can have, but you need to build the foundation now. You need to build a foundation now. You need to build that understanding for each other. You need to build the communication skills with each other. You need to build that trust and openness with each other. That needs to be built now so that you can continue what you currently have that's going so well decades into the future. So Libra, I hope that, especially if this resonates for you, that you take this advice, that you two have a serious conversation about where you want this relationship to go and how invested you each are in it, because you're going to be tempted by things you normally wouldn't be tempted by. You may make choices that you wouldn't have made had you known that your partner is as invested in this as you are. So it's really important that you do this. Otherwise, you're going to be creating problems and possibly losing somebody that you never had to lose. And it's important that the two of you be nerds, be proud relationship nerds, and read up, study up on how to be better communicators. And don't take this as like criticism that you're not communicating enough. You two have been talking, but something's been missed. Something hasn't been shared. And that's why you need to study up, so that whenever you do have these conversations, that you take it to the next level, that things don't go unsaid. That's what's really important, Libra. So it's not that the two of you are bad communicators and that's why you need to study up. It's because you're good communicators, but things are being left unsaid, and you could totally up level and you can continue the amazingness of your relationship for the long term. That's the goal here. Is, yeah, things are going great right now, and you could say, Trishna, like, we're doing great. Like, we're good at this relationship stuff. We don't need to hear this, and that's true. Like, you're doing a great job, but there's some kind of issue here, and to build a continued level of trust that will last the lifetime, the foundation needs to be built. Just because you're doing really well right now doesn't mean that you've built the right foundation, because it's easier to gloss over the serious conversations in the beginning when things are light and they're fun. But when things start getting real, you want to make sure that you have worked out the kinks in the foundation and that the foundation is solid. So that's why you want to study up and learn up, and that's why you want to practice and put into practice what you learn with little baby steps, little changes, just little tiny changes. Make one small change every week. The two of you commit to that, and your relationship will be the bomb. It'll be way better. I mean, it's already good, but it'll be like even better. So Libra, that is what I'm feeling for you for February of 2020 for the YouTube portion of this video. If you're interested in the extended, we will cover the King of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, lots of pairings here, King and Queen. And then there's like an actual pairing, King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Empress. So I see some good cards here on the bottom. So If you're interested in the extended Libra, you can access it at the link at the end of this video. The link is also in the description box. It's www.patreon.com/Trishna. If you're interested, I will see you there. If not, thank you so much for watching. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video on YouTube.